Hello! Hi! Hi! Boo! I'm so excited! Look it! I'm in a pumpkin patch! Ha! I hope it doesn't, yes. Does it look okay? I think it needs to be adjusted just a little bit. How is everyone? I'm so excited. It is freaking Spooptober. Oops, shoot. Come here. That, yes. Now can I move you like this? Yes. I don't want to cover up like chicken though, so. I don't know if I like that. This might take some, oops. This might take some time for me to adjust, and I won't do it now. We'll just get just like a little bit more. There. Sure. That's good. And then I'll probably just leave it for the rest of the month. Wobble! I'm not I feel like I should know what that means, but I don't. Hello though, how is it going? It is the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. But it is. It's like it's been busy. I have many a story, and yeah, yeah. I apologize. It's Thursday today. I keep forgetting. Welcome back. Oh, thank you. Yes, I am. I'm sorry. I had to not do Tuesday. But we're doing it today, and hopefully yeah, we'll see. October is going to be weird, which is unfortunate because I'm looking forward to it. I'm always looking forward to the Spoopins, but we shall. And I'm also late. I apologize. So where are the things? We'll get directly into it. This one, bada boomba, should not be too, what's the word? This ground lesson should not be too long. I have to make sure I'm clarifying that. Because it's flight controls. We're doing flight controls today. So that should be slick. So flight instructor, we'll start out. Flight instructor practical test standards for airplane. Do. I should have a what's the word? Like music going in the back. I can't. I was like the Jeopardy theme, but I can't sing it because otherwise they'll do the thing where they're like, no, you can't do that. And I'd be like, it doesn't even sound like it anyway. They're like, it doesn't matter. Airplane flight controls. There. task E. So task B again is one that is, what's the word? Required. So I did not have time to go through and like revamp what I did and go through my instructor's PowerPoint that he did and like really knock that out. Visual scanning, collision avoidance. I feel like that's also like a big one that I should make sure I do properly. Principles of flight, another big one. So airplane flight controls, pretty self-explanatory. It's not gonna do, yeah, it's gonna go swimmingly. So yes, we'll do that one, and then I'll go over what the semi-ish timeline maybe potentially is. So airplane flight controls, task E of the practical test standards for CFI. To determine that the applicant exhibits instructional knowledge of the elements related to the airplane flight controls by describing the purpose, location, direction of movement, effect, and proper procedure for use of the primary flight controls, secondary flight controls, and trim controls. So, let me get my... Hang on. Come on. Where's my cursor? Another stream of not learning anything. Absolutely, yes. Well, this one's pretty... It's... The ground lesson is pretty, like I said, self-explanatory. The flight portion, I will definitely put my disclaimer in for that one because, yes, I haven't actually done this one yet. In the actual plane, we've practiced the things, but not actually like the lesson scripty thing of it. So, yeah, that one's me practicing for next lesson, I guess. So yes, so this one, I guess we're all aviation people here, right? We kind of know how all these things work, right? So you're generally not going to be learning anything from here because you already know it. That's what I'll say. Okay, let me get my lesson plan out to make sure that I do it in the correct order. So, in order to fly an airplane, we must know how to maneuver and control the airplane. As we have said, oh shoot, hang on. Hang on. Where have I put it? Please don't tell me it's over there. Yes. Wait. Oh, and I don't have a pen. Do I? Do I have a pen? Shoot. We'll see. Wait. No. Okay. Sorry. I forgot that I do use a model airplane for this first portion. So here I have, it's a little plane. I don't know if you can see it that well, but here we go. Here is the model for this part. So we have the aircraft can maneuver in around 3 separate axes in 3 different planes. So if it is rolling like this, it rolls around the longitudinal axis. It pitches around the lateral axis, and it yaws around the vertical axis. Yay, perfect. So there are 3 separate, there are 3 control... I feel, okay, it's like the little words that I'm like not sure if I'm saying it like correctly. There's three sets. There we go. 3 sets of control surfaces on the outside of the aircraft with corresponding controls within the cockpit. I think that's it. Yeah. So our primary controls. What if your plane doesn't have elevators or rudders? Okay. So this, we are talking about the aircraft that we are flying. Other than that, I will kind of not get into that part. I learned recently of a trim, a different sort of a trim that I had not seen before. But yes, if it doesn't have elevators or rudders, it either will not fly or is something that I don't have knowledge in and therefore cannot teach to a student or will not teach to a student unless I learn it myself. So, does that answer your question without answering your question? So we start out with our ailerons. Our first primary control is our ailerons. That is for our roll and bank. And that is, oh gosh, please don't click anything. That is on, oh gosh, there, right here. So I tried to, it makes it easier when I'm actually drawing the thing out because then you can, shoot, come here. Hang on. There, can you see that? Oh, sorry, hang on. Oh gosh, darn it. There, sorry. It's a car. It's not a car, look. Oh, if it doesn't have elevators or rudders? Yes, fair. I like that. But no, yes, this was my attempt at a plane from the top. So that, yeah, so here we have our ailerons here. So we did ailerons in red. If that wasn't clear, my instructor did not think that was very clear. So oops. It's a ghost, sorta. Are you talking about my plane? I'm sorry. It's like a baby ghost that got into the colors. Yes. Propeller bean sprout. It does look like a bean sprout. I started out trying to like draw like really particular and well, but then I'm like, you know what? I'm not talking about the propeller today, so we're just gonna go with what we get, and today it was bean sprout. Pretty plain with a mustache. I appreciate you all so much. This is so funny. I'm happy that I did not try too hard. I tried a little bit because do you see it like it goes like different directions kind of. Probably not the correct directions, but you know, beautiful. Thank you. It looks like an I know. And see, here's the okay. All right, I will. It does. It comes out wrong. But that's why I made it really square looking. But my instructor said the same thing, so like I can't fault either of you. So I'm an inappropriate ghost with one of those like helicopter hats. There we go. At least we got a propeller somewhere in it. Now you can't unsee it. Gosh darn it. So that's my other thing. I have this way of doing it, but it would probably be way more beneficial and less, I guess, inappropriate to just do it with an actual plane and just go out to the plane and be like, here are your control surfaces. But for now, this is what we're doing. So, oh shoot. So gosh darn it. Part of my thing is I do this thing. Does that work? I don't know. So I'm just gonna point to the things instead of doing what I usually do. So yeah, so the ailerons are for roll and bank, and what happens is they are connected by rods and cables to the yoke. And when you turn that yoke, it puts one of the ailerons up, one of the ailerons down, and when you turn it, your thumb points to whichever one goes up. So then if you turn it to the right, like here, the right aileron goes up, left aileron goes down, because this is the back side of the plane. If that was also, I thought that, yeah, never mind. Yeah, that's that. And then if you did it to the other way, turned it left, it would be pointing to the left aileron. That would be up, and that would be down. Control surfaces, yes. That's your next class at A&P school. Excellent. Don't learn anything from this. Missing some types of controls. Oh yes. We are. It is part of this is like I don't want to get too deeply into anything, just because the DP is gonna dig somewhere anyway, and I want to be as like surface level as I can so that I still have knowledge that he can dig into, if that makes sense. So yeah, yeah. So we try and keep it as shallow as possible. Want to see a picture? I feel that would have aerodynamic considerations to be considered. Our elevator is orange, and it is on the back of the horizontal stabilizer. Orange, and unlike the ailerons, which deflect in opposite directions, the elevator goes up, just up and down together. And so that is also connected to the yoke. So if you, instead of turning it, you pull it forward, push it away from you. If you pull it back, it brings that elevator up, which creates a downward force on that horizontal stabilizer, which pushes the tail down, brings the nose up. So bringing the yoke towards you brings the nose up. Yeah. And again, yeah, that's pitch. Rudder is green, and that is on our questionable vertical stabilizer. And it also it is connected by rods and cables to the rudders in the cockpit. So if you push one rudder, say like this one, if you push the right rudder in, put the right rudder out, put the right rudder in, it moves the rudder to the right. So right rudder moves rudder to the right, which creates an aerodynamic aerodynamic force pushes the tail to the left, which brings the nose to the right. So right rudder to bring the nose, yaw the nose, right. Left rudder, yaw the nose, left. Let me make sure I'm not, yeah, that thing. Yes, and so even though it's moving the front of the plane side to side, it is not inherently what is causing the plane to turn. It actually helps keep turns coordinated. And in fact, all of the primary controls, ailerons, elevator, and rudder, are used and involved in turns. So what happens? Oh, sorry. One of those jokes that are either going to be insanely or hilarious or get you banned. There's no in between. Like you would have to go like way out to be able to be banned at this point. And I feel like you wouldn't even go as far as you would need to go in order to be banned. It's just hilarious. So don't take that as a challenge. Now I probably shouldn't have said that. Oh no, that was hilarious. Hello, how's it going? I hope well. Yes, we already have inappropriate diagrams because I am not an artist. So all primary controls involved in turns. So what happens again? We're gonna put it all together. Ailerons. So what happens is you're gonna start. All of this ends up kind of working together, but we're gonna put it together, or we're gonna peel it apart to be step by step. So ailerons, you turn. Let's say we're doing a right turn. So yoke goes to the right. The right aileron goes up. Left aileron goes down. There is less lift on this side and more lift on this side, which starts rolling the aircraft like that. But then there's also more drag on this side, which causes what is called asymmetric yaw. So it actually yaws the nose of the plane the opposite direction of the turn right away. So you correct that and keep it coordinated with rudder. So you bring that nose back in the direction that it's supposed to be going, keeping it coordinated. But then with that turn, you're losing some of that vertical lift as it is transitioned into the horizontal lift. So your nose is going to start coming down. So you bring that yoke back towards you to bring the elevator up and then bring the nose up. So putting all of that together, you get a nice coordinated level turn. Yay. Just tuned in. What the F are you looking at? A questionable bean sprouted, mustachioed, ghost, inappropriate. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's it's my flight controls diagram. It makes more sense. No, it doesn't. Again, that's why. Looking at the verticals, you wish you had. Oh my god. Are you back in school? No. Oh no, no, no. There's no school here. There is no learning of anything in this establishment. I am practicing. So I'm doing my CFI. I am currently hello, how's it going by the way? How are you all? Um I'm working on my CFI stuff. I'm working on becoming a CFI right now. So we're practicing one of the ground school bits, one of my lesson plans that I gotta do. So absolutely no learning. Learning is some interesting plane anatomy. Yes, yes, we are. But not like that, but also yes, like that. Question mark. So yes, so we're currently looking at flight controls because I thought that that was going to be simple, but apparently it is not. Because again, I can't draw. So those were our primary flight controls. Now we're on to our secondary flight controls. The first one we will talk about is our trim, which is used to alleviate control pressures by rebalancing the neutral position of that control surface. There can be trim tabs on any of the primary control surfaces, but the one that we have on the plane that we fly, because that's what we're focused on right now. So we have that on the elevator. So we have our elevator trim tab, and that's right there on the back bit of the right side of the elevator. And what happens with that? Hello, how is it going? How is it going? I hope well. In terms of someone that does not know about aviation, like so what? So our flight controls, yes. So our flight controls are basically what maneuvers the aircraft. So it's got our bits on the wings that help us to roll. It's got our bits on this part of the tail that help us pitch it up and down. And then it's got our bit on this bit, questionable bit of the aircraft that can move the nose side to side. And then how those are all connected to the yoke in the cockpit and the rudder pedals. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question? Good, excellent. Me, I am well. I'm getting roasted for my artistic inability, but it's a good time. It was like this literally was a thing. I tried drawing it multiple different times. Like you can even see, you can see where I erased because it looked even worse than this, if you can believe it. But yes, we're having a good time. So yes, elevator trim tab that is connected to our trim wheel in the cockpit by cables and pulleys. And what happens with that? Yes, hang on. I didn't actually re-go over this before doing this, and it's been a little while, so I apologize. I keep checking the thing. So here is the representation of the trim wheel that I drew. Begin the roast. We got our nose down, we got our nose up. Here's a little takeoff bit. So what you do is you okay, now I actually have to see what I'm doing here. I am touching the okay, so I need to turn it like this. Perfect. Yes. Okay. Like the tiniest model. I'm sorry. Don't take that out of context. So you roll the control wheel in the direction that you want. Hang on. Yeah, in the direction of your desired aircraft movement. So it's got the nice little labels in there. So roll the wheel up and it brings the nose down. Roll the wheel down, brings the nose up, because think of it as like superimposing the wheel on the aircraft. You bring the wheel up to pitch the nose down, bring the wheel down to pitch the nose up. If that makes sense, I hope. And then you have a couple of different types of trim tabs. You have the servo trim tab, which goes in the opposite direction of the control surface. So you got your horizontal stabilizer, your elevator bit is there, and then the trim tab on the end there. And your anti-servo goes in the same direction as the flight control surface. So how you can remember that is the servo tab creates a sort of S shape, where an anti-servo creates an arc. A for anti-servo and arc, and S for and ours is a servo tab. So keep that in mind, or don't, because it doesn't really come up. At least that has been my experience. With a vertical, it better be. I'm sure it will be. See, I want to ask the question, but I like if it was intentional, I don't want to bring attention to it. But if it wasn't intentional, I also don't want to bring attention to it. Maybe I will. You got some decent time in last weekend. What did you do? I am so excited. I'm so glad. It was all nice and good weather. That's awesome. Yes, tell me. I would like to know what you all did. Trim. Yes. So example, say we are straight and level, and we're supposed to be straight and level. We're at altitude. We're trying to cruise, but it feels like we have to keep our yoke pulled back to keep that nose up. So we bring our little trim, bring it down just like a little bit, and that helps us so that we don't have to keep holding that control pressure back, and helps us to just keep flying nice and straight. And what essentially happens is we're trimming for an airspeed. So if we somehow adjust the configuration of the aircraft, whether by climbing or descending or bringing the throttle in or pushing it out, the aircraft will rebalance itself for that airspeed. So keep that in mind. And that's why we say trim for airspeed. We also have, unfortunately, because it makes it even worse, our little trim tab right here. Such unfortunate placement. Yes, we have a little trim tab there, and that is yes. So this one is not controllable from within the cockpit. It is literally just a tab. It is a ground adjustable trim tab. So what you do is you adjust it. It gets adjusted on the ground, and then you're stuck like that while you're flying. Because of that, it does take trial and error to get it right. So leave that to the owner of the aircraft and or maintenance personnel. Yes, excellent. Weather is decent, good, excellent. And nope, that was intentional, and everyone here knows that you have the sense of humor of a 12-year-old. Okay. So what the use of the fact that you're not spelling out stabilizer and it's coming out just stab, which can be violent, but also yes. Anyway, that's what I was wondering about the intentionality of. Flew out and picked up your dad and flew him around for a bit. Lovely. And did he have a good time? I'm sure he did. That's so cool. Is this the first time you've been able to get up with him in a while too? Well, I guess probably it is if you haven't been able to get up in a while. Oh, yay. Oh, I'm so glad. That's super fun. That's a whole new can of, I know, euphemisms right there. I know, and that's why I wasn't going to bring it up if it wasn't intentional, because now I have just added fuel to the fire. I'm not sure if that was a good thing or a bad. Again, it's going to be funny, but at the same time, what have I done? Yes, I am. I'm glad that you got to go out. Do you have plans to again? You were going to fly today. Oh, right. Yes, but things. So did you find out what actually happened with that? Because that is, was it a computer error or what? That is. That's. Uh, hopefully, again. Hopefully it is. Hopefully that was just like a one to two-ish time thing, and then it's done. So our second secondary control surface is our flaps. Those create extra lift. They lower the stall speed, so you're able to come in, particularly on landing, at a steeper descent without increasing your airspeed. They increase the camber of the yes, of the airfoil. Where is my thing? So instead of it being like this, once you put that flap down, it ends up going like that, and that helps to create more lift, sort of thing. And yes, and it delays the detachment of the airflow, which is how it lowers stall speed and all the good things. So it's on the trailing inner edge of the wings. It also they just go down, so they are neutral with the wings, and then they go down 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, 40 degrees, however much it is. And ours are mechanically actuated. They can be electrically actuated. They can be mechanically, but ours are electrical, connected to a lever that kind of looks like this in the cockpit. And as you put the lever down, brings it down a little bit, brings them down a little bit more, a little more, a little more. And ours, there are different types of flaps. There's the basic flap, plain flap, split flap, slotted flap, Fowler flap, and a slotted Fowler flap. Ours are Fowler flaps, so they kind of run out a little bit on a rail and allow air to voop up and over the flap. Yeah. Couple other secondary control surfaces are leading edge devices, which also add more lift and lower stall speed, as well as spoilers, which spoil lift and create drag, but we do not have those on our aircraft that we are flying, so we're not going to talk more about those. Let's go flying! So yes, that one went all right. Oh shoot! I have to turn the shoot! No! Don't! No! I started the sim. I think maybe I didn't. I did. Exit. Yes. Okay. I have to open all of these things before starting the sim. Oh, we also need to pick where we're going. Where are we going? So purpose, location, direction of movement, effect, proper procedure. We got our primary, secondary flight controls, trim controls. Yes, nailed it, maybe. So, where are we going? Your thought train is so thoroughly derailed at this point. Well, the naughty mustachioed ghost is off the screen now, so what are my streams, honestly? So now we are looking at maps are good. Maps are safe. Even your backup date got bumped. That's so weird. Two people are doing check rides. So he deleted you into see, and I have had people requested to cancel in the past, and it was like thank you for doing so, and then I have also been requested to cancel, but to not have been put in the loop for that is incredibly unfortunate. And hopefully that was again like the one-ish time thing, and now things are better and different. Oh, I should probably start the sim while we're doing this. Have that. And boom. Okay. Also got some news on the crash that happened west of here. Okay. Student instructor went up. Oh, okay. Into a storm at night because the instructor had get-the-ritis. Also public, right, mocking the student on Snapchat during the flight. So that was nearby you. That I did see some of the Snapchat things, and that's just the only thing we can do is learn from it at this point. But that just words and phrases I can't say because I'm a lady. That it had to happen at all. But yeah, and I'm sorry that happened near you as well. Pretty messed up. Absolutely. Yeah. It is. It's just all around like tragic situation, and yeah. Rules written in blood, so we'll see what comes out of it at this point. Where shall we go? We have to actually be able to fly. So like I'm thinking over here. I mean, we do go over here a bunch. I mean, it is VFR over here, but things are coming. There's a pirate. What is this? 310 at 40 knots at 1,400 feet. No. What about this one? It looks interesting. For some reason, as you read that article, it's the first one you read that actually made you mad reading. Right, exactly. Because it's one of those things like for what it does, it feels like it's one of those things. It feels like it's common sense for one, but it also it really demonstrates how certain cultural elements, namely media, can affect how we and how other people act, even in these situations where you need to be at the top of your game, focused, all the other things. But yeah, it was so absolutely unnecessary in every way. And I'm like, you're getting to a point of gamer words, so maybe I'll stop talking. Because I'm absolutely with you on that. Makes you mad, right? Makes you want to take a dump on that guy's desk grave. I'm not saying no. Yeah, like it is. It's one thing for something to have gone wrong, and like at that point, it's just completely inevitable. There was no way you could have seen it without thoroughly doing, like, yeah. Like stuff where you'd have to like open up a cowling before every flight. You know what I mean? But that, just, yeah. The attitude and all of the things. And again, I will leave that to be my piece for now, since, yeah. Yeah, just completely unnecessary. We're gonna go here, I guess, kind of. There's a river, and that will be pretty. And Yeah, all the good things. Perfect. Let's do it. Okay. Kilo, Sierra, Quebec, India. Boom. Kilo, Sierra, Quebec, India. Boom. Fly. Perfect. Oh, shoot. Oh, words. Sorry. Right. Yelled at the kid for taking too long on the pre-flight. And I mean, and this is the thing. Again, it has. It has happened. We can't change the outcome, but hopefully, this is a major lesson for whoever needs it. And just for everyone to just you do your stuff, you check your weather, you do your pre-flights, all of the things, and you don't mess around with that, because it does. God dang it, why isn't this, where's my cursor?
Kilo Sierra Quebec India traffic Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1 taking off runway 25.
Okay, no. I didn't click a parking spot. And yeah, like it is just like showing that just demonstrating that is not the attitude that you can have in this business, hobby, whatever it is for. No! It crashed. Sorry. The sim crashed. Oh, okay. So now I have to oh, god dang. Okay, there. Now LittleNavMap. There. Sorry, completely lost my train of thought. But yeah, it you do. You have to have the right attitude with this, because it's not just there are major consequences if you don't do things correctly. And that's why hazardous attitudes and aeronautical decision making, risk management, all of that stuff is such a big deal. Yours has been crashing lately too? Okay, hoping you fixed it with a deep cleaning of the GPU driver. Ooh, okay. I thought I don't know what a deep cleaning of my GPU driver would entail, but perhaps I have to look and see if there's an update for it. Oh, Kilo, Sierra, Quebec, India. Well, since this is starting up again, I have very many stories. Oh shoot, what does this say? Alert notum. 7 and 2 Fife are closed. So we will not do 7 and 2 Fife. Uh, 7, 2 Fife. Perfect. We're gonna go here. How's that? Boom. Okay. Speaking of consequences, you just finished 157 accident reports on one of the new aircraft you're sampling for your new video. Wow. I was gonna say, like, what did you learn from it? But I'm sure that we will find that out in the video. But interesting. Okay. So is it just, did you have a certain amount that route is required? No, it is not. kind of. It'll be fine. Did you have a certain amount of Wait. Okay. You mean for like a certain type of aircraft, not like a certain like a plane, like a type of aircraft, right? So you just wanted as large of a Oh, that's really pretty. So, oh, no. Hang on. No. No. Just gonna get sorry. I'm just gonna restart everything. And by everything I mean just like all of the things that I use for the sim. So now we do that, now we do that, now we do that. Sorry. Technical difficulties. Okay. All right. Certain type of aircraft. Okay. You're sampling 3 dual engine aircraft that represent a sort of low, medium, and high performance. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Very cool. And so were the 157 accident reports necessary, or did you just kind of get into like a flow of it and it was just interesting? You were supposed to go flying yesterday, but the weather was pretty iffy. Dang it. Okay. Well, I do. I hope you get to go back up again. Cuz it's funny, my first year of flying, I actually yeah. Trying to think. Like I liked the more like the cooler time. But then I don't know. Like for some reason I've transitioned to I prefer the summer flying potentially maybe. I'm not sure. So I don't know how you feel about it. But yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Because gosh darn it. Freaking I had a lesson recently and it was somewhat iffy weather as well, so we didn't actually end up going flying. But we ended up being out and it was like kind of blustery and there was some precipitation. And I'll get into like why we were out. We were testing another plane that was getting maintenance. Or my instructor was. And I was helping. But then he was inside the plane and I was outside of the plane. And it was colder than I was anticipating. I wasn't anticipating being out in the rain and the wind. What airport is this? It is going to be Kilo, Sierra, Quebec, India. I will pin it. Okay, TrackIR does say it is connected. Look how pretty it is. First things freak. Oh, hang on. Gosh darn it. Resume. Fix look. Thank you. Okay. Okay. I'm so sorry. Was gonna take a friend over lunch. Your flight to the place was about 30 minutes, and the flight back would have been just over an. Oh no! Got you. That is unfortunate. I mean, but worth it. No, definitely good call. Gosh, yeah, and that's just one of those things that's so funny when you're trying to plan a route, and then it's like, oh, this one looks like it's gonna be really good, and then you forget to look at the back, the way back of it. Yeah, and then it's just like add them together, divide by 2. That's what it should be. You collected data for the purposes of the video topic. There was a total of 157 reports. You've done 100 for another aircraft, but it's been on the market that you'll do another 100 of the most recent accidents as well. There's literally over 1,000 reports and you upload it limited time. Right. And yes, it is. It's finding that balance of like, okay, how much should I do? How much can I do? Find it somewhere in the middle. Maybe. You've been to this town before. Excellent. You can tell us some sights to be seen then. Look at, oh. I do. I want to go night flying again, but I've gotten a little bit nervous about it. And again, it ticks me off so much because at one point I even landed at my home airport once when it doesn't even have lights. And it was fine. I bet I could do it again. I've gotten nervous about it. I want to say I think it might be like a right seat thing again, because we've only been practicing, I'm pretty sure, at night when I've been in the right seat. So that throws it off a little bit more, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, sorry. What am I doing? We're looking at how pretty it is. Checking out that moon. Mew. Wee. The river is scenic, nice. Other than that, you're not sure. Okay. Well, we'll maybe, I think it was like we'll head westish then maybe, because then we can kind of like follow the river a little bit. We'll be doing maneuvers, so yeah, it'll be good to have a view as well. You need to get some nighttime in. Yes. Are you current? I think I'm still current, but yeah, gotta keep that up. I am alive. Yes, I was worried about me. Oh no. I did. I'll get into it. It's been a week or two. I hope you're well. Hi, how's it going? But no, it has. It's been a weird couple of weeks, and it's just gonna be for a bit. So I appreciate you guys bearing with me. Oh. And being willing to be here. Be here as well on a different day. I'm hoping the schedule gets, what's the word? Normalized soonish, but we'll see. Okay, I think we're good. That's good. Okay. Wait, I can hear it, right? I think I can hear this in, so we're gonna go with it. Let me know if you can't, so it's not just my grating voice. Tonight would have been perfect, but you have to get up early tomorrow. That's how it always works, doesn't it? Well, I do. I hope you get to go up at night at some point. Fingers crossed for you as well. My instructor has like nighttime that he has to get done yet, but it's only like 1.2 hours, and it's And I don't know if he wants to do any more night after that, so we'll see. What? You found an entry where the occupants encountered a snake on the plane and diverted. Yes, it happened. So what kind of a snake was it then that they actually had to divert, and there wasn't some like nice snake enthusiast who would totally pick up the snake and babysit it if it wasn't like actually dangerous? I'd volunteer. That's so funny. When was it? When was it before the movie? Because was that why? Was it the inspiration? Stable schedule works for you? Yes. Fair enough. Some coral snake. Coral snake doesn't sound that bad. Sounds pretty chill. Unless it's not. I have to redo this. It was this year. People have been watching too many movies. You didn't have to divert for that. I wasn't there. Never. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. What am I looking at? As PIC, you do whatever you have to be. Oops. Sorry. Hang on. To be safe and effective and efficient. All right. So we get in the plane. Then we take a picture of the hobs and the tack, because that's how you're going to figure out what you're paying for. And if you forget, then you got to figure it out. So hello. Mustafa, thank you for the raid. How is it going? How was your stream? What were you doing? Welcome, everyone. We are getting in the plane. So yes, for those of you who don't know, I am pilot in real life. I'm working on my certificated flight instructor certificate. So I'm practicing my scripts and flows for future teaching. This is not teaching. You will learn nothing from me. Because facts, but also it's also a request. Do not learn anything from me. Always check the things. Hello. Heidi ho. Hi, how's it going? And hello, chicken. Hello. I need to figure out a voice for him. What do you think he sounds like? Oh, I was going to try some stuff, but it was just not going to come out right. It's a whole herd of moose. Yes. Coast to coast. Comanche tonight. Excellent. Hayes, Kansas to Kansas City Municipal. Full VFR. Oh, wonderful. And it went well. Yes. Yes. Pumpkins. Jack-o'-lanterns. Do you like it? I'm in a pumpkin patch. Yay. I'm so excited. Are y'all excited? I'm so excited. Spoopings. The spoopings are upon us. Just learn from me. Not to learn from me. No. What is the learning loop or something? I can't. There's like a phrase that I feel like I should say. Or, yeah. Favorite kind of teaching, one that can't learn anything from. Exactly. Yes, that is what it is. And there's a ducky. Oh yes, Shuba. Yes, we are. We're having a good time, and we haven't even started the plane yet. So yes, so that's why we're going through. I'm gonna try and do like the flows of starting up the plane. So I apologize, but also not sorry. So we took the picture of the hobs and the tack. We are going to then, yes, we're gonna turn on the battery. We're gonna check some of the things: pitot heat, nav lights. We don't have a strobe light, beacon light, taxi light, landing light. And we're going to put our flaps down because we want to be able to see the workings of the flaps on our walk around. Landing light is working. Red nav light's good. Oops. White nav light is good. Beacon is working. Green nav light. Excellent. Amazing. Check our fuel tanks. We will fill up before we go, if I remember. Oh, and then I was pretty sure that I put the things on that I was supposed to. Gosh darn it all. Oh, weird. What?
State saving enabled. Disabled.
Sorry. Well, that should be fine then. We're starting from scratch. Perfect. Okay. So, grasp the pitot tube, feel that heat, turn it off, and then remember to turn your battery off. You're falling asleep, okay? So you're afraid you won't be staying. That is all right. Sleep is good. Hope you have a good stream. Thank you. Happy you stopped in and hope you sleep well and hope to see you again soon. Have a great weekend and all of the good things. It seems really freaking windy, so unless it's just the traffic, isn't it? Guess we'll find out. So then what we do, chicken is the guinea hen, so I will be addressing chicken as yes, the student guinea pig, guinea hen. Will never not be funny to me. Okay, so chicken. We need to check our static port and our pitot tube because those need to be clear of things because we need them for our instruments. So we check our static port over here, check our vents, make sure those are clear as well. Pitot tubes there, check that as well as its drain hole. Fuel vents over here, we're going to check that, make sure that's clear. And then we drain a little bit of fuel from under this wing. Make sure it is clear of debris as well as little bubbles at the bottom, which indicate the presence of water. Make sure you turn the fuel cup a little bit to make sure that there aren't any hidden bubbles. And you can check to make sure that it's got that nice light blue color, put it against something white, and then give it a good sniff to make sure it actually smells like fuel, as well as it just, smells good. So have a good time. Then we check the connections of our flaps, wiggle the rod a little bit, make sure that's good. Then we lift our aileron, check all of those connections, wiggle that rod, check the tire, make sure it looks good, check all your antennas. Then check our elevator, make sure those attachments are good. Rudder we check, and our trim tab here. And now, chicken, you can do this side of the airplane. And then chicken will check this side of the airplane. And then, all right, great job, chicken. So then we open up this here, and we strain a little bit of fuel from there. And we also check our oil. We checked it on the iPad at 7 quarts, fine. So the plane that I'm flying right now currently, as long as it's over 4.5 quarts, should be good. And then we'll go into our front bits. Don't take that out of context. Check the leading edge of the propeller for any nicks or cracks. Make sure the alternator belt has tension. Wiggle the exhaust port, make sure the exhaust port does not wiggle. Check the air intake, make sure that's clear. 4 fingers, make sure the nose wheel has clearance, and check that tire as well. Yeah. Cool headsets, yes, the pink ones. Yes. I keep meaning to look into that to see if why, but also I like them as well. So I think we'll leave them. Casually sniffing gasoline before takeoff. Doesn't everyone? Does it? It smells so good. Anyway. All right. We have done all of the things. We have done our final walk around. We've made sure there aren't any chocks or anything like that. That's good. Amazing. Excellent. We will go fuel up. Oh, right. Because it was, yeah, okay. What? Hang on. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Gosh, darn it. Ah, okay. Okay, so all those things are good. So now, we do. I still don't think we've gone over. I'll just try it. We'll wing it. So we trim for takeoff. Wait, fuel's on both. Fuel's on both. This is why we do this. Strange. Okay, fuel's on both. Trim for takeoff. Is it? Circuit breakers, but-a-la-la-la-la. Brakes, pedal test. Make sure those are good. And then we... Seatbelts on at all times. Exits out the doors to the left and right. For now, make sure they are shut and locked. No talking during takeoff and landing. And then all the other things. If we lose power on the rollout, we're going to stop on the runway. If it is after takeoff and below 1,000 feet, we'll land straight ahead. If it's above 1,000 feet, we're going to turn around. We'll consider turning around and landing back on the runway. I will get into a deeper dive on that briefing before we take the runway. Okay, so avionics are off. Autopilot is irrelevant. Carb heat is off. Beacon goes on. And why does our beacon go on, chicken? Our beacon goes on because we want to make sure that people know that our aircraft is about to start running, even though it is not currently running. Aha, it is an indicator that we are about to start up. So make sure you get out of the way. Speaking of, clear left, clear right, clear ahead, clear back. Clear prop. Good job, chicken. If anything goes wrong, it is chicken's fault. Brakes are set. Mixture goes in. Throttle goes in slightly. Oops, shoot. Whoa. Such a wonderful sound. Hello, how's it going? You were sleeping and not secretly learning. I feel that is not being entirely truthful. But hello, I hope you're well and not actually learning. Hey, you were supposed to be shut. There. We're gonna lean this out a little bit. Now we're gonna turn on all of the things. Taxi, avionics. Boom. All right. Flaps go up. Ah, wrong button, because I'm really good at that. Do these? What? What? So if I... Will it give me carbon monoxide poisoning? Maybe. Okay, so we did that. Now we should probably check the weather. That would be a good idea. Me tar. Kilo, Sierra, Quebec, India. The 6th at 0356 Zulu. It is automated. The wind is 290 at 10 knots, 10 statute miles of visibility. It is clear for our ceiling. 13 degrees Celsius for our temperature, 3 degrees Celsius for our dew point. Altimeter is 2997. Remarks. AO2 differentiates precipitation. Sea level pressure is 1001.3 millibars. Temperature is 13.3 degrees Celsius. Dew point is 2.8 degrees Celsius. Precipitation, I think it just means no precipitation data. And money means it is under maintenance or something. Yeah. Yeah. So, is it reliable? Ah. Dude. Should probably know that for sure. Yeah, it is. It's something to do with maintenance, so potentially not fully reliable. 290 at 10, 29097. Noom. That is 6. Check to make sure it jives. 20, 40, 50, 250. Sorry, 650. 648. Amazing, it does jive. And then the other thing, 290. Oops. So 18 and 36, 29er is 36. So that is what we shall do. Have to turn the thing on. My flight tracker. Okay, so now we shall work on doing our run-up. First, we will get ourselves turned around. And yeah, so taxiing. Taxiing is you use the throttle and you use the rudders, not the yoke, to maneuver yourself on the ground. And when you're turning around, you can use a little bit of the brakes if you need to do a little bit of sharper turns. Not too much, though. And yeah. Yeah. Run up. We're facing into the wind-ish. So fuels on both. Trim for takeoff. Flight controls. Oh. Flight controls. So, we go in. Up mine. Up yours. And up ours. Yes. You'll never forget it, even if it's inappropriate. Instruments. Looking good. So that's good. That's solid. That's where it needs to be. Looking good. That's where it's supposed to be. That's good. Excellent. Mixture's best in power, so we'll bring that in like that a little bit more. Primer is in and locked. Not going to touch it, because otherwise I will accidentally shoot some primer into there. Alright, 1700. So we bring our throttle up to 1700, and we want to check our carb heat. Make sure we get that drop. Make sure it's working. Excellent. Then we do our mag check, so we bring it back. Watch that drop. Shouldn't be too much. And back. Bring it all twice to the left. Watch that drop and back. They seemed similar, so we're good. I will figure out what the actual ones for that are. That's good. That's good. Those are good. Boom. So yes, we wanted our ammeter to be positive. We wanted our vacuum to be in the green. And we wanted our oil temperature and pressure to also be in the green. So, oops, that's a little bit much. Okay, so we're gonna... So we... Checking. Oh gosh. Getting ourselves turned around. We're also looking within the pattern to see if there's anybody that we should be looking out for before we also take off. So we have, ooh, interesting. We are going to have to taxi on a closed runway. Oh no. Or we could just do short field takeoff. We could do that. All right, so what we are going to be doing. So first, yeah, for this week's lesson, I was supposed to practice, like put together and practice for slow flight, steep turns and stalls, which I did, but it didn't end up working out for us to actually fly. I'll get into that at some point. So I put it together, didn't get to actually practice it. So my instructor went over the sheet that I put together. But again, I haven't actually like practiced it with him, so that's why particularly this is just me practicing for when I'm actually going to get feedback on how to teach these things. So they are. I apologize in advance. They're probably going to be particularly rough, but we're going to do our best. So we are going to take off, and we said we were going to the westish, and then we will probably meet up with the river. Excellent. That will be amazing. Cute. So, where are we? I don't know. Rockfalls traffic? Question mark? Sterling traffic? We'll go with Sterling traffic. Oh, Rockfalls. Whiteside County. We'll go with Whiteside County. Whiteside County traffic. Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1. Departing 3-6 at the taxiway. Taxiway departure. 3-6 to the west. White House County. Whiteside County. Push then yes. Push then think. Push to think. That one. That's what it is. Taxiing. So we're looking. All right.
Approaching runway 1836.
Thank you for a flight.
Entered runway 1836.
I forgot I was going to practice the longer briefing as well. So we are taking off 3-6. Our winds are 2-9er at 10, which means we have a 70-degree left crosswind. Again, should have done this before we were out on the runway, but nobody's coming, so we're good. And then, so usually, this is actually good. So usually, we say before the 1,000-footers. So we're taking off, we're watching our gauges and everything. If we're not off by the 1,000-footers, then we're gonna probably abort the takeoff because we shouldn't need more than 1,000 feet to take off in this thing. So I guess since we're taking off past, hang on, let me look. Oh no, so, hang on. Oh god. Hang on. Why does it look so short? I'm sorry, I wouldn't say this in real life, but we're gonna see what happens. I'm fairly certain. We're not even halfway down the runway, and it's 3,900 feet. So at the least, it's about 2,000 feet. So we're supposed to be able to get off the runway in less than 1,000 feet. And the stripes are... I don't know. I'm gonna have to probably ask my instructor his thoughts, cause, yeah, I guess my whole thing is like, if I'm not seeing it climb the way that the speed climb the way that I want it to climb, then I'm just gonna abort immediately. So I don't know. We'll go with 1, 2. So that's 200. So that's 250, 450. Sorry, hang on, 500. So like 4 stripes down. Yeah. We'll count the stripes. I hope. If we're past the windsock and we're not getting off of the runway, we'll abort. I don't know. We're gonna see how this goes. This is why we do this in the sim. Sorry. Very inspiring. I'm so sorry. Half your life is just let's see what happens. Right, but also planes though. So yeah. So it usually the run up thing is when you're starting at the end of it, if you're not up by the 1,000 footers, cutting it. If we lose, so again, if we lose power, then we're just gonna stop right on the runway. If it's after takeoff, we have some runway left. We're gonna land back on the runway. We're gonna land, yeah, just on the runway. If we lose power after takeoff, and we don't have any runway left, and we're below 1,000 feet, we're gonna land within 30 degrees within 30 degrees. I think it's 30 degrees either side. If we lose power and it's above 1,000 feet, we will consider the conditions and whether we will turn back around to land back on the runway or we'll just make off-field landing. Yeah. Okay, that thing. We will be aiming for 65 for the... Hang on. $65 for rotation, because for some reason the plane likes to think that it's stalling before that. And then climb out at 75 up to $1,650. Yeah, 1,000 AGL. Okay, all right. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was looking at it, and the longest runway on the sectional, it says 6,500. But for some reason, yeah, 7 and 2.5, which is the actual longer runway, is closed. That's why it looks so short. Okay, here we go. So we're doing a short field takeoff. Green, 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 green. Carb heat's in, mixture's full, trim, flaps, and fuel. So short field takeoff, we are going to hold our brakes, throttle up. Once it gets there, we're going to take off normally. We'll aim for VX, which is 70 question mark. Oh god. Oh, crosswind. Amazing. Sorry. Ah, there, right seat. I got some serious crosswind practice recently, and we'll get into that. However, first, we are going to, so 650, we're aiming for 75. 650 plus 7 is about 14. So once we get to 14, we'll check our things, and then we will turn. So, again, green, green, carb heat, flaps, trim, fuel. Good. And now we will make our turn. All right, so as we are getting to where we need to be, namely altitude, I have many stories It's been a busy week. So first, my instructor texted me last week, and it's a picture of him with 1,500 hours. He hit his 1,500 hours last week, so that was really exciting. Luckily, he doesn't despise me too much. So he's still helping me get through my CFI stuff until he's off to the airlines, and then he said that he's going to be available after that too. So yay. But yeah, that's one thing that's fun is seeing the people have helped you making it to where they want to go. So yeah, that was really fun. And then we had another lesson. We did our first lesson, it was ground lesson, and then a flight lesson, and then we had just a second flight lesson, and I was just completely off for some reason that lesson. It was straight up just straight and level flight, climbs, turns, and descents, and I was just terrible. I actually texted him the next day like, I'm sorry I was such a terrible student yesterday. And he's like, we all have our rough days. I was like, okay, thanks. Okay, so 1,500 feet at least, but 2,500. I feel like 20. I guess I could look in the PTS. Woo! We're gonna go like that. For some reason, I feel like accelerated stalls was, was like a higher threshold or something. Come on. Accelerated stalls. I'm not seeing anything. I don't know. We'll just give it 2,500 feet. So 2,500 is going to be 3,100. So 3,500 will go to. All right, you just went through another 80x. As you do. I think it's time for bed. Sounds good. Have a good night as well. Sleep well. Have a great weekend. Yes. I do want to. I'm hoping to do some spoopy game on Sunday. It won't be the one that you recommended yet. I have another one in mind for now. But yes, hopefully get a little bit of the spoopings in this weekend. But yes, sleep well. Have a great day tomorrow, and then yes, a great weekend. 3,500. So, hello, how are you? I hope well. We are about to do, about to start working on our stuff. So, slow flight. First, we will clear the area. We were on our heading of west. I wanted to say Wednesday for some reason. We're checking out our window. All right, so there's our 90 degrees. Checking out our window. I still don't have the visual from the right seat, which is highly unfortunate. Doing great, excellent, I'm glad you are. And I am also well. It's been busy. A lot of different things have been going on the past week. So, well, this week and last week. So, but yes, but good things. Just, yes, very busy. So, did kind of talked about, yeah, it was just, yeah. The last week's second lesson was just ish. So we're gonna try to make this one good. I'll have some practice in after this, so we'll see how that goes. So yeah, we're on our heading of west. We're gonna practice our slow flight. The reason why we, and again, don't learn anything. You're not learning anything from this. This is just me practicing my script with Chicken. Chicken is my guinea hen. So Chicken, we are going to practice slow flight. Something I'm sure you are very familiar with, because you probably fly slowly. So we practice slow flight so that we know how our plane responds in that configuration, how to maneuver when we are flying that slow, and how the controls feel when we're flying that slow. So what we're going to do is we're going to configure our aircraft kind of like we are coming in for a landing. We're just going to bring it down kind of like we're coming in for a landing, but also like kind of not. So it's probably, yeah. As you can tell, I still need to work on my script. So we're going to bring it down to like, 1700. We're going to hold our altitude with our pitch. We're going to bring in a notch of flaps below 100. Then we're going to bring in another notch of flaps below 100. And then as we get to our speed of 60 question mark, I guess, we're going to start increasing our thrust. We're pitching to maintain that 60 degrees of airspeed, and we're going to use power to maintain and return to our altitude. Carb heat also goes out. Oops. So we're going to try and trim for our 60 as well. But we all know how well that works out. Alright, so we have our slow flight. We'll just kind of leave it like that, because otherwise I'll be fighting it the whole time. So, in straight level flight, in slow flight, you're going to feel, can't in a sim, but you're going to feel that the controls are going to be like a little bit mushy, a little less responsive. So it's going to require more input to get it to do what you want it to do, but you want to make sure that you don't do too abrupt of inputs on the controls, because your angle of attack is a lot higher, since it's making up for that loss of thrust with greater lift from the wing with a higher angle of attack. So yeah, that's why you don't want to have abrupt controls, because it could throw you actually into that stall. Again, pitching for our airspeed. So we're a little above our speed, so we pitch up like that. We're getting above our altitude now, so we're bringing our throttle back. So then if we want to turn, again, gentle input. So we'll turn 90 degrees. Blah, blah. Gently, gently. So we're going to turn gently, and since we lose a little bit of that vertical component of lift, we will potentially need an increase in our power. Your internet died? Oh no! So then what? Like, was it a, was it a, just a your internet problem, or, but it's back. Okay, good. So it wasn't too too long then though, which is nice. Do you know what happened? There, we have completed our 90-degree turn. And again, it is. Everything happens a lot slower. So just be aware of that and be okay with that. If we want to climb, again, we add in our power. Maintain that speed. If we need to, if we want more feet per minute for our climb, then we start thinking about taking out our carb heat, taking out our flaps. There's one notch. Maintaining that speed with our pitch. And since we're getting a pretty okay feet per minute, we are going to leave that notch of flaps in. And then as we're going to come into this leveling out, we can bring our throttle back again. And put our notch flaps in, carb heat back in. Leveling off. If we want to descend, we can simply push our yoke down and bring power out to oh, sorry, hang on. That was a silly. We are going to maintain our speed, pitch for airspeed, power for altitude. So maintaining our speed with our pitch and bringing that throttle out for our descent. Oops. Not sure what happened. It just went then came back. Okay. Oh, oops. Gosh darn it. Hope it's not a symptom of anything worse. Hope it was just a wee blip. And then when we don't want to descend anymore, we will bring our power back in. Again, pitching to maintain our airspeed. But again, if we trimmed properly, the plane should oscillate back to our airspeed that we trimmed for. And then when we want to level out, come back into cruise, we increase our throttle, carb heat comes out, and our flaps we increase. I usually say with VY, so we can toss out one notch of flaps, and then once we hit VY, we can take the rest out. So yeah, there we have slow flight. Some common errors we have are those abrupt inputs. So make sure we don't do those. Not reconfiguring once you come out of slow flight. And after the or for the climb as well. Dumping the flaps, especially if you're in a go around. So don't do that. That abrupt loss of lift won't be good, especially near the ground. And not utilizing your power properly. Yeah. Do you have any questions? So yeah, so I'm doing the 5 C's. So when you're explaining maneuver, so you clear the area, you communicate, you configure the area, you complete the maneuver, and then you go over common errors and then ask if they have any questions. So yeah, so that was slow flight. Yay, that wasn't horrible. I don't know. Steep turns. We cleared the area earlier, so now we'll just communicate our steep turns. The reason we practice steep turns is because we want to demonstrate how after a certain point, after a certain bank angle, the plane just wants to keep on banking. So you will even have to add in opposite aileron to the turn in order to keep the angle from increasing and keep you from overbanking. It also demonstrates the loss of vertical lift in the turn and how much back pressure you may need to add in for particularly steep turns in order to keep the nose level. So we are going to configure our aircraft. I did forget, going back to the reconfiguring thing, I did forget that I put in a bunch of trim for slow flight, which is coming back to bite me in the words I can't say because I'm a lady. So we're going to put ourselves onto a cardinal direction, and we're going to have about 2,400 RPM, and then we're going to start banking. Yeah. So we'll start banking at about our 30 degrees. We'll increase our power a little bit to help mitigate that loss of lift, that loss of vertical lift. And we'll start bringing our yoke back as well to do the same thing. Our attitude indicator is going to show us where to go. So this line, yeah, this line here is actually our 45 degree line. So you can either look at, this is 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees. This is 60 degrees. So right in here is our 45 degrees. Or putting your orange wing onto this line is 45 degrees. But since we do steep turns in commercial as well, those are 50 degrees. So we'll just go a little bit past that white line. Am I on multiplier? I am on multiplayer. I can throw it up in there again. That didn't sound right. I'll throw it into the chat again. Kilo Sierra, Quebec. Oh, God. India. Gosh darn it. Hang on. Quebec, India. And we are on US East, I'm pretty sure. That could have been... Oh, sorry. That got really quiet really fast. US East, yes. So yes, come join if you would like. We're going to do some steep turns. Yeah. So, and it is a visual maneuver. It really does help to keep your eyes outside of the aircraft, and just verify with your instruments. So once you get established in your bank, your 50-degree bank, then you're going to find the point on the cowling where you do not see me. I see you. Oops. Hello. Woo. I do see other people. I even see you. I am turning the wrong direction. Whee. If you don't see me soon, I will try to hop out of you, or you could also try that if you hop out into US West or something and then hop right back into US East. Well, yeah, you hop out for a little bit and then hop back in, and then sometimes that helps. All right, so yeah, once you get established in that 50 degrees of bank, you're going to find the point at which the horizon meets the cowling, and you are going to hold that point there with that proper angle between the cowling and the horizon. If it starts moving up, then you have to start moving up. If it starts moving down, then you have to move the nose down. And then we do it once to the left and once to the right. So remember, when you go into the right one, you're going to need a little bit more right rudder, and whatever inputs you put in, throttle and trim and yoke, you're going to need to reverse a little bit to make sure that you don't completely nose up as you're coming out of that turn. You don't know how to do multiplayer in Microsoft Flight Sim. You just see free world and discovery like monuments and stuff. Oh yes. Wait, hang on. You don't know how to do it. It will be on the map, and then it's up on the corner here on the map. Hello, by the way. How's it going? So yes, once you're on the map, then it's a click thing here, and then it should give you the option to do multiplayer. If that's what you were asking. I'm sorry if I misunderstood. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and try it. We're at our 2400. So we're just gonna start at the 3800 because I don't want to mess around with altitude and trim all freaking evening. So we are going to start banking. And we're gonna get to our 50 degrees of bank. Oh God. Coming up on our roll out, we want to do that about half of, oh, see, there our thing is coming out. We want to roll out about half of our bank angle, and so if it was 50, we roll out about 25 degrees. Oh yes, and this to the right, oops, gosh darn it. To the right is currently my nemesis, because it just looks like it's so completely nose up, even though it's not. Oh shoot, sorry, hang on, 50 degrees. Could probably, oops, add that to the, so 25 degrees is one something, 55, so whoop. Rolling out, nice and gentle like, nice and gentle like. There. Yay! There's our steep turns. Common errors. Not enough pitch. I will also add in there now, not enough bank. Having a late rollout, overshooting your heading. And then not removing that added power and pitch from your left or your right turn that then makes you balloon up on your rollout. So. I don't understand, but okay. Good. You're literally like an hour into Sim 0. Oh, so you're learning literally everything. Okay, hello, welcome. Welcome. Okay. World menu, upper right corner, yes. Flight settings, weather picture, yes. Left side, yes. Thank you, Wambi. Yes, absolutely. So yes, you can come join if you would like. I don't know if the thing is still pinned. We're on US East, and we're just practicing some flight maneuvers. And this is really awesome. I hope it is going well otherwise for you. And it is. It's just it is such a fun thing to do. So I wish you many more hours. So there, we did steep turns, yay. Now I'm gonna see where we're at to see, oh God, we have to turn around. We're gonna turn, yeah, we'll turn around. And we'll talk about stalls. So, stalls. There are a variety of stalls that we are going to work on today. The reason that we practice stalls is so that we can recover from them if we experience them, or we can prevent them by understanding when they will occur, and or if they are occurring, we can take steps to not let them come to full break. Hello! So yeah, understanding our alerts, such as our stall horn, understanding and feeling how the controls react, all of those sorts of things. Because a stall can occur at any altitude. Hang on, that's something completely different. Yeah, can occur at any airspeed and in any configuration. So be aware of that. It is not just a automatically low speed thing. It is when we exceed our critical angle of attack. So, talked about stalls, recognize impending stall, be able to prevent. Okay, so we'll do our power off stall first. What we're gonna do is we're going to get on our cardinal heading. Right now we're doing, hang on. So right now we're going north because we went a bit south. So headed north. We're gonna configure for slow flight. We did that earlier. So chicken, how do we get into slow flight? I'm glad you asked. I need to get a voice for him. So down to 1700 RPM, and we're pitching for our altitude for now while we let the speed bleed off. We'll bring our carb heat out. Then we'll throw a notch flaps in at below 100, throw another notch flaps in. Oops. Sorry, hang on. So at 60 degrees, we're gonna release the yoke for a 500 feet descent, 500 feet per minute descent, and then we are going to raise our nose to the horizon. Power to idle, nose goes to the horizon, nice and smooth, ducky, yes, okay, and then we neutralized our ailerons, throttle goes up, and then we gently pitch. That was a terrible power off stall. Not nosing up so high. I didn't like that one, so we're gonna try it again. So again, for slow flight, 1700. Oh, yeah, also those things. 60. Power out. Pitch for 500 feet per minute. And then we, nice gradual, slow, bring the yoke back to the horizon. And then just keep the nose at the horizon, keep that back pressure in. Keep that back pressure in. There it goes. Just release that back pressure. And then gently. I cannot okay, there we go. First notch of flaps and VY. Reconfigure the aircraft. And return to your heading and altitude. Yeah. Common errors. Improperly pitching up, being too aggressive or not or not aggressive enough with the pitch up, so you either don't get it to a full break or it breaks very aggressively. An over aggressive recovery, which my instructor laughed at when he saw that on my sheet, because that's definitely my issue. Because in the 150, it breaks hard down, and then I end up nosediving because I feel like I need to put forward pressure on it, even though I don't. So yeah, do not over aggressively recover. Do not under aggressively recover either. And then yes, forgetting to reconfigure, taking the carb heat out, taking the flaps out. Also, I guess I could say there, not maintaining coordination and developing a spin to the right for some freaking reason. Amazing. So yes, that. Power on or questions? Then I ask student Chicken, do you have any questions? No, I'm good. Perfect. So, power on stall. So power on, sorry, I forgot. That's why I have this. For the power off stall, the reason that we do those is like, say you're coming in for a landing, right? And it looks like you're going to be coming up short. And instead of adding power, you just try to hold the nose off, try to hold the nose off, try to hold the nose off. And you still end up coming up short, but you stall the aircraft into the ground. You don't want to do that. So that is why we practice power off stalls. Among other potential examples, but that's a primary one. Power on stall. We cleared the area earlier. Now we communicate. So why we do the maneuver. So power on stall, most likely situation is a high density altitude takeoff. So you're at high density altitude, maybe it's a hot day too, maybe you're overweight with your aircraft. All of the things put together where you are having poor aircraft performance and you start taking off and you're not climbing, but there's stuff coming up, mountains or trees, and you have to get over them. So you keep pitching up. You're at full power, but you're just not getting that climb, and you just keep pitching up with full power until you stall the thing. So there, that's that potential situation. So what we're going to do is we're going to get onto our cardinal heading again. We're still on north, and we're going to do somewhat similar to slow flight, except we're going to leave the carb heat out as well as the flaps. So in order to get us down to stall speed, we're going to bring it down to 1500 and just pitch to maintain our altitude. And then once we get to about 65, then we're going to go full power and we're going to smoothly pitch up. Keep ourselves coordinated. Not letting those ailerons do strange things. And then we let it break, and my rudders. We're gonna pitch up for 80. Thank you, ForeFlight. I think I am learning from this. I should just do the full explanation, including the recovery, before actually doing it, because I feel like I just try to complete the thing and I just end up babbling during the recovery instead of actually being helpful. So yeah, keeping coordinated and then recover, release the back pressure, climb out at VY. Common errors: improper pitch up. So yeah, being overly or underly aggressive with that as well. And then yeah, improper use of the rudder and coordination. So potentially ending up getting yourself into a spin, or at least letting it drop to one side or the other. Any questions, Chicken? I think he's good. Hello, how is it going? And hello, Miss... No! Oh, no, you silly. I am not an instructor. Not yet. But yes, how are you? How's it going? Power on stalls. Yes, we're working on stalls right now. We just did our power on. Our next one is going to be accelerated stall, so we'll see how that one goes. Oh, I'll see where we're at, actually. We're getting there. Hello, no! Look what you have started! You get all, no! You get no information from me. No tips. No! You're not supposed to be learning anything. If there is anything to be learned, you don't see a disclaimer. I know, it's spoken. It is a spoken disclaimer. A spoken and generally understood disclaimer. I will try to remember to put a disclaimer on. Even though I feel like it's just like my inability should also just generally be the disclaimer. You're getting takeaways from this, but for some reason you're still not learning. Good question mark. I'm conflicted. Yes, so that's, yeah, like that could potentially be okay. Like if you have something like maybe I should ask a actual certificated flight instructor about that. That would potentially be okay. That would be okay. But also, I don't know. Anyway, not learning, no learning, absolutely not. Accelerated stall. So we cleared the area earlier, communicating. Yes, okay. So reason we practice accelerated stalls is if, say we're overshooting our base to final, overshooting our base to final turn, and we overbank close to the ground and don't keep our nose down, we could get into an accelerated stall. So how we configure is we do a power off stall without the carb and flaps. So we will go down to 1700. Oh, wait, hang on. Learning my lesson, hang on. So we're gonna configure power off stall without the carb, heat, and flaps. So once we get to 75 miles per hour, that's also probably why. So we'll go, yeah, so 75 miles per hour. We bring the power out and we smoothly bank to our left, keeping our nose down until we get to that 45 degrees. We need to make it to our 45 degrees of bank, for the love of God. And then once we hit that 45 degrees of bank, then we can bring our nose up firmly, but not too abruptly. And as soon as we hear our stall horn on that, we recover. Nose goes down, level our wings, power in, and climb at VY. So let's do the thing. This is our complete C. Yes, we're okay. We're just gonna stay there. 4,400 is good. So bring it back, 1,700. Could probably just do it by the power on stall instead. But yeah, so just we don't practice this with carb, heat, and flaps because it's questionable. So it's about 70, power out. So keep our nose coming down, reach that 45 degrees, nose comes up, there it is, and just recover. Nose goes down, leveled our wings, power goes in, gently and smoothly pitch up. That wasn't actually bad. Yeah. Because I had for my commercial check ride when we were doing accelerated stalls, I was having an issue where I was letting the nose drop too much. Gosh darn it. Yeah, I was letting the nose drop too much. And now in the 150, I've been having an issue with not letting the nose drop enough, and it stalls before, or it chirps, the stall horn chirps before I reach the 45-degree bank. So yeah, keeping that nose like down. Don't let it like dive bomb. Don't lose that. Don't increase airspeed. But yeah, it was Anyway, accelerated is power on. It isn't. It is not. I see what you're saying. I've never heard of an accelerated stall. You learn something new. No. So we. Accelerated stall came into play during my commercial check ride, so we don't do those until then. But yeah, so if you're, so say you're coming in base to final and you see that you're overshooting your runway and you're like, oh shoot, and then you just like bank like really, really steeply and you don't keep the nose down, then you end up, stalling. I didn't there because I have the power fully on. So, yes. Well, you like to get your education from a commercial pilot? No, that's not allowed. It's not allowed. Y'all are killing me. But no, it was actually like a little bit of my nemesis during commercial check ride. But like, yeah, I'm kind of getting it now-ish, I think, maybe, I hope. I got it enough to pass the check ride, but yeah. Common errors with that one, not keeping your nose too high, and then stalling before you reach the 45 degrees, keeping the nose too low and losing all your speed and then not being able to get it to that stall. Not keeping coordinated. You want to do that because you could get into a dangerous situation with that, and then not reaching that 45 degrees of bank. So yeah, making sure getting all those questions, chicken. I don't think he has any. Excellent. All right, the next. We'll quick do a secondary stall. So secondary stall is just a power off stall, but you hold it off. You do an improper recovery where you don't recover fully, and you end up stalling it again. So we've gone over that. I'll just do the thing. So we 1700, carb heat goes out, flaps go out, 60 degrees, 60 knots, power goes out, 500 feet per minute, and then we nose to the horizon, nose to the horizon, nose to the horizon, nose to the horizon. Gently. Yep. And there. And then, and then we, instead of recovering properly, we just stall it again. And so now we recover properly. So, pitch down or release that back pressure, throttle in. I am leaning, on my pedals. I'm so sorry. Ticking me off. Carb heat goes out. And return to our heading and altitude. So yeah, that's example of that is an improper power off stall recovery. And yeah, common errors with that, improperly holding it off. I don't think that was a great example of a secondary stall, because I don't know, to be honest. It didn't quite feel right, but I could be absolutely wrong. So I'll find out once I actually do it with my instructor again. I can't remember if we actually worked on those the one time. All right, so the next one is new for me, and the second one I haven't done before, so I don't know if I'll be doing it correctly. But my instructor went over my thing and he didn't say anything, so we'll see what happens. So the first one is the cross-controlled stall, and it went so poorly when I first tried it. So we'll see. We will see how it goes. Well, then the favor is returned because I may or may not be killing you by your laughing. Yes! Vengeance! That is the intent. I'm glad it is amusing. Your flight school owner just returned from... Ontario with the school's second 172M. That's good, I assume. What was going on with that then? All right, so the next one is cross-controlled stall. Again, it went disastrously. My instructor was so confused with how I tried to perform it. So we'll see how this goes. So first, cross-controlled stall. I had thought that the example of it would be slipping nose high, but my instructor said when you're close to the ground and you need to turn, you don't want to bank, so you end up using rudder instead of banking for your turn, and you end up and you end up cross controlling and stuff. I'll have to get that down a bit better than just blah 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 and stuff, but we will. And I said configure for it like the accelerated stall. Bring that out just a smidgen. So power off stall without carb heat and flaps. Once you get to 75, pop yourself firmly into a 30-degree bank, and then bop in your left rudder, and then put opposite aileron in. So you're going to have left rudder, opposite aileron. That ball is going to be whoosh where it's not supposed to be. And then you're just going to smoothly pitch up until you get that stall. How are you going to recover? Nose down and coordinate yourself. Add your power and climb out at VY. All right, let's do the thing. And I'll get to that in the common errors. So power off. So get down to 1700. No carb heat and flaps. Just gonna nice and pitch. Just keep pitching for our altitude while that airspeed bleeds off. And then we power out, 30-degree bank, rudder, and aileron, and pitch. There we go. And then we throttle in, nose is down. I'm gonna have to look back at that. I'm pretty sure I was definitely cross-controlled. But, oops, still freaking cross-controlled. What is happening? But yeah, so this is, yeah, there, yay. So he showed me that the first time. So common errors is questionable. My error was, so again, you do the pitch out thing, you put your bank in, and then at some point you have to bring the aileron back out, but you're supposed to put the rudder in first. So you bank, you rudder, and then you opposite aileron. But what I did is I put the bank in, and then I started bringing the aileron out, and then I did the rudder, and it was just really confusing, apparently. Because whatever was happening with the instruments and whatever my instructor was looking at, he just could not understand what was happening. Yeah. I frightened him a couple of times recently. So yeah, so that's common error. Also, yeah, like too aggressive of movements can cause you to get into a dangerous situation, so be aware of that. Yeah. Any questions, chicken? Nope, no questions. Excellent. Like the equivalent of Buffalo to Seattle. Wait, what? Hang on. I'm sorry. I forgot what I said. Oh, okay. Oh, from Ontario. Oh, okay. How did that go? And again, why? Laughing releases endorphins, they say? That sounds good. You're welcome. So it's not really vengeance. Dang it. The fleet before only had 3 152s, 1 172. Oh, 172M and a Cherokee. Okay. So now the 172 is back. Wonderful. I do like me 172. I have. I've been trying to get back into my home airplane for a long time. I'm hoping within the next couple of weeks, but we'll see. Okay, so elevator trim stall I haven't learned this one, so I'm just winging it. Again, my instructor didn't say anything, so we'll see what happens. The reason why we practice elevator trim stalls is to demonstrate the importance of reconfiguring after landing. So you have that nose up elevator trim put in for your landing. If you leave that in on your takeoff and you are that close to the ground and that slow starting out, it could bring you into a nose high situation and stall you right into the ground. Also demonstrates what to do, helps you know what to do in case of a trim failure, which my instructor actually had within a month or two this past. He was flying something that had an electrical trim, and he was with a student, and what he thinks happened is it trimmed so slowly that it happened while they were sitting on the ground prepping for the flight, and the student was the one who was flying, and apparently he had a ton of like forward pressure on it or something. Like, if my instructor had his hands on the yoke, he would have like noticed that something wasn't quite right. But then, hang on. Yeah. So it was nose up. So they ended up taking off, and the student was like, I can't. It's really hard to keep it nose down. So then my instructor was working on the things, and he had to put like words I can't say because I'm a lady, ton of pressure on just to hold it stable and everything. So he had to turn back. They were on an IFR flight, so he had to call the tower and say, hey, I'm coming back around, and added some flaps in to help that out. And the tower goes, yeah, you're third for landing. And my instructor goes, the hell I am. And he's like, no, we have an emergency here. No, he's like, no, we have a runaway trim. We need to land, like, now. And the tower's like, are you declaring an emergency? And he goes, well, I guess I am. So then he was able to land, and they got it looked into and everything, and they ended up flying it back to where they had to go. So yeah, it worked out, but it is something that happened. So again, that whole thing, this is why we practice these, what to do in case of trim failure. So we're going to configure for the power on stall. We're going east, is that okay? Oh my gosh. Okay, hang on. We're gonna go west, actually. So sorry. Oh no, it's second 172. Oh, okay. So you had, while it was gone, you had 3 152s, 1 172M and a Cherokee. Got you. Apologies for misunderstanding, but that will be good to have the 172 back, because it does different. 172s are nice and stable. 150s and I assume 152s. I think I've been in one 152. But yeah, they're a lot of fun, but definitely a lot more sensitive. Okay, so power off stall, bringing that, and we're holding our altitude with our pitch as we bleed off our airspeed. Oops. And then we're just gonna like bring our trim all the way up. Oh god, until we, and then we I'm just gonna keep going with the trim, see how far it goes, see how much it actually takes. So yeah, like I'm looking forward to doing it in the real plane because this is oh god, like yeah. So this is. I'm not doing too much on this yoke, but I can definitely tell when I release any of the little bit of pressure that it's actually a lot more on the flight control than it would otherwise be. I assume a 150 probably doesn't have. I don't know. I don't want to say that, I guess. So I will. I'll just wait on that. So yeah, so you push down and you bring your throttle in and yeah. And then if you need to, oops, nose down. Look at that trim wheel go. Yeah, so using the yoke as you can until you can get it properly trimmed if it was a reconfiguring problem. Otherwise, using your throttle and your yoke as necessary if it is a trim problem. Yay! Stalls. So yeah, so that's all our. Oh wait, sorry, hang on. Common errors and questions, or common errors. Improperly trimming when. Yeah, so I don't know. Again, I don't know if we're supposed to do full nose up trim for this or not. So we'll see what happens. Not maintaining your coordination, and then not reconfiguring upon recovery. And then any questions, chicken? I think he's good. Yay, we have gotten through our slow flight, our steep turns, and our stalls. So, I have very many stories. So we can buzz around still. We'll find the river and buzz. So I have to turn. You have this dream of going into a leaseback situation with your own DA-42. So what hello? How is it a far-fetched dream, or are you, like, seriously looking into it? Alright, so kind of talked about earlier, had my, we might do a little bit of that, the straight and level stuff, turns, climbs, descents. We kind of went over that with the slow flight a little bit, but in normal flight, I guess. We also did, unusual attitudes, which was it was so funny because when like I either asked or he was explaining what you're supposed to do to put them into an unusual attitude or have them put themselves into an unusual attitude, and he said basically like 45 50 degrees of bank or something, or maybe like 45 degrees of bank, and like I can't remember how much pitch. I think like 15 degrees of pitch. And I thought, okay, that's exactly like commercial maneuvers. So looking back, when I was so terrified of doing unusual attitudes, and now that's like what I actually practiced for my certificate, I thought that was just so funny. So yeah, it was one of those moments of like, oh, I actually have kind of like made it a bit further than maybe I really realized. So yeah, so that was actually nice and kind of, what's the word? Reassuring. Because I was a little bit worried about unusual attitudes and giving them to students. But now it's like, oh, so I just put them into a commercial maneuver when they're a private student. Excellent, let's do it. Yeah. You don't have the money to buy and maintain any plane at the moment. Okay, but I like. So when you say leaseback, I guess like my mind went to, and I guess maybe have you considered like talking to other people, like having other people in on it? I know there's like, you want to be careful with that, because even if you know them really well, things could go sour pretty quick. All right, so we're gonna get low. Shoddy got low. Sorry. And we're gonna follow ourselves a river while I speak of things. So, did that. I did. It was not my best lesson at all. It was actually quite a ish lesson. Because we kind of did a thing where he was pretending to be a student, and I tried to, like, do the things, say the things, teach the things, and I just couldn't get it right. And then he did the whole thing where he's, like, gripping the yoke really tight, and I was sitting there staring at his hand, like, I know that you're trying to tell me to notice this, but I cannot for the life of me figure out how I'm supposed to say it. Like, don't grip the yoke so tightly, but it just couldn't come out of my mouth. So that was, yeah, I don't know. It was just one of those days. But then I also got to do some more air tours this weekend. The first day I get there, and the ceilings are not, they're below our minimums. So we're not going to go flying yet. And we had some people come in. Well, first, one of the ground crew guys, I was actually going to, do a flight with him at one point. It didn't end up working out. So we met for the first time there, and he was super freaking interesting and super nice. And he had worked in aircraft equipment sales. And he had stories from all over the world, all sorts of different situations. I don't want to say too much, just because, like, I don't know how much is what's the word? Yeah, and it gives anything away. But yeah, he was super fun to talk to. He was super nice. Another guy there, I had worked ground crew. He had been a ground crew person as well during the last tours that I had done. So knew him, he's cool too. And then, yeah, so we had people coming in. We could not go. Visibility was not good. Ceilings were low. And I was the only pilot there at the time. So I was making these calls. And it feels so bad because, and again, I do feel bad. It's not going to make me do something unsafe, but I do feel very badly about it. We had a dad and a couple of boys who hung around for quite a bit, and they ended up couldn't go. So they actually came back the next day, which was good, but that was rough. Talked to a couple who had gotten married 2 years ago and had gotten gifted a flight. So they had been trying for 2 years to get this flight in, and it wasn't going to work again. And so they were going to go somewhere else, and then, here, I'm going to get outside of the plane. Wee. So they were going to go and meet up with some people, and then I would give them updates for whether we were going to actually be able to go or not. And by the time the ceilings actually lifted, we had no more appointments left, and they had said that they were going to go back home, and it was like a longer drive. So yeah, so we were basically probably done. We hung around for a while. I get a text from them, and they're like, hey, we're actually still here. Can we do it? Yes. So we're able to go up and do that, and that was a lot of fun. And it was nice to be able to just not be too, what's the word? Too limited by anything, because it was like they had more time than usual because it was a gift, and we didn't have to worry about anybody else coming afterward or anything like that. So it was just like a nice chill flight for them, and they seemed to have a good time. And the one thing, two things actually, I guess. The first thing was the wife asked before we took off, as I was like, after I got run up done and everything, she asked, "Are you nervous?" And I was like, "I'm always a little nervous before a flight." And I'm like, after that, I'm like, okay, I mean, it is true. Not because of anything's gonna happen. It's just like one of those things. But I probably shouldn't say that to my passengers. But she was super cool about it. She's like, "Oh, well, I'm not nervous at all." And I was like, "Oh, good, excellent." Even after I said that, but yes, no, it worked out really well. Another thing is that aircraft is equipped with obstacle avoidance stuff. So I think he was supposed to ask about this. Reconfigure your aircrafts, kids. Anyway, so I was well above whatever obstacles there were, but it is configured to say obstacle, avoid the obstacle, climb, whatever. When you're like less than 500 feet, even if it's like 499 feet above. And of course that's like all over the screens here. And I'm like, it is, it's fine. We are above them. I am paying attention. We're good. And then the third thing for that flight, I was mortified. I was getting into the pattern to come back in and land. And somebody hears that and they say, "Hey, people over there, how is the weather? Or how's the flying up there?" And I say, "Pretty good." And that's it. And then there was like a pause, and then just 2 clicks. And it was like immediately after that I was like, okay, I could have said smooth and VFR. Smooth, VFR. That is what you say, not pretty good. Embarrassing. Other than that, that was that day. Okay, sorry. It's also, hang on. It's also to help them offer a multi-rating course? All right, this is gonna be probably a terrible question. Is the DA-42 a multi? I don't know planes, I'm sorry. So you would own the plane, and then you would get some of that, or however, I don't know how this works. They're very reputable school, but they're only a single engine fleet. Oh, okay, fair. You're learning how to judge minimas and alternate minimas right now. Are you talking IFR? Apparently it's different in the States. Potentially. I would like, so for like on the charts themselves, because we have straight minimums. It does, it depends, and yes. By alternate, do you mean alternate as in other minimums, or alternate as in your alternate airport minimums? Whee! So yeah, so that was day 1 of my flying for the tours. Oh God. So the next day looked like it was gonna be better, potentially windy, but it seemed like it was gonna be fine. I get there, I pre-flight, and get the first people, we figure out how to do the whole money transaction thing, and then we go up. And there's a certain route that we do, and it was supposed to be clear all day, and I look and I'm like, okay, there's something like a little bit in the distance, but it looks far enough away. So I'm like, okay, we're good. We're gonna go. So we get out and we're tooling, we're doing the thing. And all of a sudden I see on radar that there's precipitation like just south of the airport. And it's like where part of our tour is. So I'm like, oh shoot. Well, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna fly over this way and go elsewhere to the airport, to the opposite side of the airport, where we took off from, unfortunately. But so yeah, so we had already seen that kind of whatever, but I also kind of assume passengers can't necessarily tell always. So we avoided that stuff, and I was timing it. I was trying to time it to make sure they got their full time slot, but also so that we got back before whatever was coming got to the airport. So we come into land, and on final there was a little bit of rain, and I was like, all right, got the full time slot in, but it wasn't a bad situation. So we're gonna wait out the next group. We're gonna wait it out because it looked like it was coming straight for us, and it was coming very fast. It was gonna pass right over, and then we were gonna be good. 2 hours later, it was more like an hour and a half, probably. Hour and a half later, because it hung out right by the airport without actually really coming over the airport. And then I was talking to the guy who I had talked to the day before, the ground crew, and he was talking to me about pillow clouds. And the pillow clouds are the ones that have all of the rain in them. And it's just they could open up at any time, and then you have your rain. And I was like, okay, I don't want to get out there with somebody and then like they're either not able to see anything, or it's not as comfortable because it's freaking rain and all of that sort of thing. And or if we're not able to get back to the airport. So I was waiting and I had called one of the other pilots who had said he was going to be there, and he was a lot more knowledgeable and had more experience than I did. So I was hoping he was going to be there, so he would probably make a call of, oh yeah, that's going to be fine, and he would be able to go, and I'd be like, all right, there we go, wash my hands of it. And so I did. I waited until he was going to be there, and then I was like, okay, he can take over for a little bit. And then he's like, nah, you can get some rounds in. I'm not going to be there yet. I had some stuff to do. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? But it did. It seemed like it was going to be good. There were still some like pockets around, but it was just light rain around, and then just like a little bit of wind. So it was good. Took off, went fine. A little bit of bumps, so I had to avoid those. And then as the day went on, after that, it was just like one after the other. One person, standard versus calculated. Alternate as in alternate airport. Right, okay. So I know that we have, oh gosh, okay. So are you talking about for an alternate airport? Let me think. It's the 3-2-1 rule, where it has to have, it's forecast to be 3 statute miles, 2,000-foot ceilings, 1 hour before and 1 hour after departure, in order to be considered an alternate for VFR? But then on the approach plates, it'll also say alternate minimums for your alternate minimums. So there is something else. This has been a while, so I apologize for that. Yeah, so if you look at an approach chart for an alternate, it'll say that there's different alternate minimums, and then you got to look at those and then make sure that your weather is that instead of the standard, if that makes sense. So like if you're given a tap at the published minima for an approach, could you do it? Those kinds of questions. Okay, yes, but again, I'm a little bit out of practice with that when it comes to alternates, so I'm not. I would have to look that up again. But and so do you mean, is it like so the TAF is at the published minima? So I mean, I think okay, again, I'm not sure, but I think it would be like, yes, you can. Is it one of those things where, sorry, the weather is forecast to be a certain way, but then once you're flying, that kind of goes out the window a little bit. So like you can try the approach, you can file the approach as long as the minima are met, and then even if the weather gets worse, you can still try the approach, even if that isn't actually at or above minima, if that makes sense. Hello, how is it going? How is it going? I hope you are well. We are doing some sightseeing while I babble about things. Happy y'all are here, by the way. So then there was the longer flight. So it ended up actually, it was her birthday, and she had actually been training. She had almost 20 hours, and then she had some life stuff happen where she was unable to do it at that point. So we got to kind of wing it a little bit, and then she wanted to do some maneuvers, so I ended up doing lazy eights and steep turns on both sides. So she was up in the air for the one, and then she was like, and I did it to commercial standards because commercial pilot. So she had a lot of fun with that, I believe, I hope. And so that was a fun thing to do. There were just like a lot of different people for like a lot of different reasons, and it's just so much fun to share that with people and just see how they react to it, and try to make it the best possible. So I'm trying to think if there was anything else with that. And then before I knew that this was happening, I had been planning to bake one of those days. So then I baked in a very limited schedule, because then the next day I had another thing, which requires backstory, so I'll get to that. How am I? I am quite well. How are you? How's the IRL flight training going? It is going. I've talked to my instructor recently, and I've like gently pushed back the potential check ride, like time frame. So yes, so our plan-ish kind of now, I'm still aiming to get all of the things done by the time that he has to go to class. And then while he's at class, I can just practice the things on my own and just really get that stuff down. So yeah, because it did. Like I told him, it feels like I'm not going fast enough to reach the deadline that we had wanted, but it also feels like I'm going too fast to really get comfortable with everything. Like comfortable and like proficient and capable. So I do. I really want to do a good job, and I want to actually be able to do the things. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. Am I CFI yet? So yes, no, I am not. Not for a little while yet. Because yeah, it's just a lot. It's a completely different mindset for me. So yeah. But like in Canada, it depends on the kind of approaches available at your alternate. Yes, same as well. So yeah, there's one thing where it's like if you have a certain GPS, you can only plan for a GPS approach at one or the other, your destination or your alternate. Among some other things. But yeah, so that makes sense. Love my custom livery, thank you. Tiki made it for me. I do, I like it too. And look, it's even on the pants. It's so cute, I do. I love it too. Thank you. Moon. Can I get both in there? Probably not. Yay. Like if you have only non-precision approaches, you have to use one set of minima to determine. That doesn't ring a bell for me, but I'm not sure. If you have one precision. Whoa! Oh, yes, okay, kind of. So on our approach plates, there is, like, it gives your DA and your MDA, and then it does have, like, visibilities after that. So yes, but that's for approaches in general, not just for alternates, if that's what you mean. And another set if you have two or more precision approaches. Yeah, that doesn't ring a bell. Interesting. Okay. Oh, hang on. I can't see what it is. I'll have to look. Yay! Yes! Oh god, hang on. Sorry. That was frighteningly close. Let's see where we're at. Yes, so that was that. And then yes, so then for those of you who don't know, I got into this after going to, did I already say that? Yes, I went to Oshkosh in 2017 and I was like, huh, that looks like fun. And then fairly soon after that, I started taking care of an elderly relative of mine at the end of her life. And she had been a pilot in the 50s and 60s. And so we got a sim for her because one of the things is we had wanted to try to take her up again, but it just wasn't going to work out. So it was like, hey, sim, next best thing. So we got Microsoft Flight Simulator. We got the yoke, we got the quadrant and stuff like that. And I would fly with her on it. And she loved it so much. And she'd help me out with it. She loved when I did barrel rolls and she laughed when I crashed it. So having that experience kind of solidified my desire and like plan to do flying. So after she passed away, I got into it, and that's what I've been doing since. So we have some of her stuff from her flying days, including her logbooks. So we found the plane that she soloed in, and we were able to contact the person who owned it or currently owns it. And we're like, hey, would we be able to come see it? Here's the story. And of course he's like, yeah, excellent, let's do it. And we were finally able to make it work to go see it. And yeah, we went to go see it, and he was super nice. He had so many stories, and it was a little bit surreal to be able to sit in the plane that she had soloed in, and yeah, all of that sort of a thing. And it was a completely different aircraft. It's a Super Cub. So there were a lot of differences that I was not prepared for. We're gonna start heading back. Oh God. Yeah, that I was not expecting. I didn't put the research in to like actually look at what the aircraft is and kind of be aware of what it was going to be. But yeah, so it was the tandem, right? Where it's like person in the front, person in the back. But he didn't have the seat in, so unfortunately I wasn't able to go for a ride this time. But he did say, yeah, at some point, you want to come have a ride? And I'm like, yes. So that'll be a future story. You hear me crying in the club? Why are you crying in the club? Oh no. Yeah, and so it was the stick one. And oh God, what else? He had put flaps on it. It hadn't had the flaps on it. So he had bought it in Alaska. It had made its way to Alaska. And so he bought it there, and it wasn't in good shape. And he completely redid it. He put new flaps on it, and they're mechanical, so not electrical. And the tail, the trim, is the front part of the horizontal stabilizer. So the elevator's in the back of it, and the trim adjusts the horizontal stabilizer. So there's a new one for our flight controls ground lesson that we did earlier that I didn't talk about because I don't understand it entirely. Beautiful story. Oh, well, thank you. Like, it is. I appreciate that because I do. I keep her with me. I have a little pin every time I go fly of hers. Oh God. And it was actually her 99's new member pin. And I didn't know that that's what it was until I became an actual member of the 99's. And then I got like almost the same exact pin. And I was like, oh, so that's what it is. So yeah, like it has. It's been a trip with all of that. Yeah, a lot of different things. The pitot tube was so small. I couldn't find it. He had to point it out to me, and I was like, oh, really? Oh, that's beautiful. Oh. See if I can, hang on. No, that's not gonna work. So yeah, so that was like being able to, yeah, like sit where she sat and kind of like feel that out, and yeah, it was fun. You posted what a Canadian approach plate looks like in the Discord. Sounds good. Thank you. I am curious. Calls for an honorary barrel roll? Of course it does. Okay, here we go. Hang on. Oh, this close. Oh God, we'll see what happens. This close to the ground. Hang on. Okay, let me make sure my rudders are good. Oh God. You're also a member of the 99s, a friend of the 99s, is still fair. Excellent, wonderful. Oh, I love it. Do what? Do what? A what? a flip, do a skid. Oh God. Sorry. Let me make sure I'm going in the right direction. Still. Oh God. Yep, we have gotten completely turned around. Hang on. Hang on. Urgh. Does that count for the flip and skid? That sounded strange. Because I did flip, and at some point I'm sure I did skid because I am terrible at coordinating in this aircraft. So yeah, so that's been a long time coming. That happening, and yeah, at some point, hopefully I'll have more stories when it comes to that. Because the other thing is I have plenty of logbooks and plenty of other planes that I can find, which could be fun. But yeah, we'll see. And then had another lesson during which did weather services or weather stuff, weather data, and I can't remember what it's freaking called. It's pre-flights. It's in the pre-flight section, so it's like how to find your weather, where to find your weather, how to do the briefing and all the things. So I had been thinking that there was going to be a lot more like actual weather stuff rather than just the data of it for that task, for that section of what I was supposed to do a lesson plan for. But it wasn't. So I feel like I need to do more with that, but we'll see what happens. And it did. The plane was supposed to get its 100-hour done the day before that, but the guy who was working on it, it wasn't done by the time I got there and while we were doing the lesson. And then he came into the hangar we were in and started working on this other plane. So it was like, so is the other one done? Nope, it's not. Okay, so can't go fly. So he had my instructor. We pulled out the plane he was working on to run it up and see how things were doing. And did that. And then there was another plane, the one that I actually flew for the tours, that apparently was rolling to the right for some reason. So we all piled into that plane and went and took it up so that he could see what was actually happening. And so I got to be a little passenger princess in the back for like 10 minutes. And it was fun because I love flying, right? But sometimes you just want to be able to not be the one on the controls and just be looking and enjoying and having a great time without the stress of training, among other things. So yeah, so that was fun. Got to fly a little bit for that. And then yeah. And then we talked about again, yeah, how potentially CFI is going to go. But yeah, we'll see about that as well. So yeah, that was all the things, I think. Very busy, lots of different things. And it was a good time, but it's been busy. Sometimes you just need to look a little goofy with a head tracker. Yes, that as well. So as we're coming to the, we're gonna have to be done. We'll go and land. Oh, getting sleepy. Oh, I guess I'll throw out a couple of other things that I should try to remember from the straight and level and climbs and descents. So for that lesson that I did really terribly on, couple things that I need to remember is climbs climbs and descents for airspeed versus rate of climb or descent. And yeah, so it's like putting your nose like a few inches below the horizon, making sure you're straight and level. I don't know, honestly, like I am. We're probably gonna have to like redo that one, or I am gonna have to practice it on my own because it was just not my day that day. Where are we going? Where are we? I can throw that over there now. Oh, so we're shoot. Coming in for a landing. Wherever it may be.
Destination
Thank you, Forflight. Whiteside County traffic, Cessna Hotel Tree 1 Delta 1, 4 miles to the west at 2,000 or 1,800 inbound for runway 36, I assume. Whiteside County. Yep. Oh, it's 270. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot. Okay, so the second day when it was boom, 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 it started getting gusty. Crosswind. Full freaking crosswind. And then it was varying to even a tailwind. It was primarily the one runway, but then it would vary to a tailwind. And gusting to like 23. And I was like a little bit, I know I can do it, but I also worry about my ability to, I worried about my ability to do a smooth enough landing with passengers, with paying passengers. Not me, but them. Or for the thing. So I was trying to get, again, the other, you know what, we're gonna cross midfield and enter left upwind, because otherwise I'm gonna mess this up. Might still, but it's less likely, hopefully. I'm crossing the field to enter left upwind for runway 36. So I was trying to get the other pilot, who's got like 30,000 hours, to come back and fly instead. But he's like, nah, you're good. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's also a CFI, so he's got that, like, nudge him into the uncomfortable situations because it's good for them. But I was also like, okay, I am perfectly willing to get outside of my comfort zone with this stuff, but not with paying freaking passengers. I was a bush pilot for a day, maybe. Well, here's the other thing. So my home airport is a grass strip, and it's a toughie to get into, I guess. Again, I started out with it, so it's fine for me, but I've definitely heard other people be really surprised, like, you fly into and out of there? Oh my goodness. It's like, yes. You do it a couple times and it's absolutely fine. So I could generally be considered honorary bush pilot. But no, yes, it was getting a little not higher than my own personal minimums, but like I wanted to make sure that they were, like, the people who were trying to just have a good time were having a good time. And I got compliments on some of my landings, and none of them were really horrendous. So, but yeah, it was a little bit nerve-wracking. And it is something I gotta deal with, so yeah, it was probably a little bit of a confidence booster. But also interesting. Am I pretty comfortable with soft field landing versus a paved runway? Yes, And that was why, for my private check ride, I was always, like, the short field landing was my nemesis. Soft field stuff, like we just do, so I was good with that. And then, of course, I slam in the one soft field that I needed to actually make it. Luckily, that was the only issue. One of the only issues. Not enough to unsat me, so that was good. Just remember, landing is just a controlled crash. Oh, that's fair, that's fair. But it is, it's I don't know. I don't want to make it seem like it's that big of a feat. But just here, if you've started from paved with paint, nice long runways, it can definitely be a little bit daunting. But it's not too bad. White side traffic, Cessna Hotel, Tree 1, Delta 1. Left base, 36. Oh, white side. Oh God, where is it? There it is. Check. White side traffic, Cessna Hotel, Tree 1, Delta 1. Oh, flaps. Whatever the thing is. Final. 3-6. White side. I am absolutely big on books. You just finished 2 great ones. Yes. I am interested. It's gonna be a bit before I will be able to get to them. But, yes, definitely. The Comfort Crisis by Michael Easter and Outlive by Peter Attia. Okay. Oops. Hang on. Sorry. One sec. Let me land the thing. Oh, and we have a crosswind, so. All right. So ailerons into the wind and rudder. Too much. Oops, not too much. Not too much. Oop, not too much. Gosh, darn it. I always do that. I promise I fly better than an actual plane. I will, once I'm not manhandling this aircraft, I will write them down. Oh gosh, it's a back taxi. Hang on. White side county traffic, Cessna Hotel, Tree 1, Delta 1. Back taxi 3-6, White side county. It's funny that you mentioned that because I actually just started recently. Oops. See, this is how used to grass I am. It doesn't matter if I'm on a paved runway. We must taxi in the grass. I needed some literature in my life because all I'm doing is training and reading textbooks right now. So I started on the next book that I was going to read by one of my favorite writers. So I have a bunch of Tolkien and a bunch of C.S. Lewis that I have to read, and I've been trying to work through. And I've been working on the C.S. Lewis, and I have them, the ones that I have, in date order or publishing date order. So the next one that it was in line is The Allegory of Love. That sounds pretty nice and sweet and chill, right? I was expecting some light philosophy where my brain could just play a little bit. Whiteside County, Cessna Hotel, Tree 1, Delta 1, clear of runway 36, Whiteside County. Oh no! Oh freaking no! It is, I will try to remember how I thought about this. It is an academic analysis of how the romantic genre infused into European literature around the 11th century, as well as definitions and, again, academic analyses of allegory itself and other things. So it is, again, it is dense. And it's like, I didn't want to be studying another thing. I wanted to just chill. But no, and now I've committed. Plus, there's a bunch of French and Italian and Latin that I can't just look at and be like, all right, I kind of get the gist of it. Moving on. I have to actually translate it. Which takes forever because translating it on mobile, for some reason, Google Translate is just the freaking worst on mobile. Anyway, sorry. Yes, C.S. Again, I'm enjoying the heck out of it, but I just was not expecting to be studying another thing when I'm already studying things. But I did. I had some moments of this is why I freaking love literature moments. So, yes. Glad I didn't say Colleen Hoover. I'm not even sure who that is. I'm sure I heard of it or heard of her. Better allegory than alimony. Yes, that's absolutely fair. But it is. It's really super good. Again, it's not quite what I was expecting. I highly recommend all the things, Lewis. If you've not read his space trilogy, if you didn't know that he had a space trilogy, I'm telling you, he has a wonderful space trilogy. It is insanely good. But it's like an adult science fiction. And by adult, I don't mean like R-rated or anything, but it's more. The first one is more sci-fi. The second one is more like, what's the word? Like spiritual, cosmic sort of a thing. And then the third one is more like really real life stuff. So, yeah, it is. It's so good. And he's so good. Yeah, it is. It's very good. CJ Box, also a great author. Oh, I was going to write things down. Hang on. So, you said... And then we'll shut down and we'll go over LittleNavMap. Boom. Finding my books. Where are my books? This one. Yes? Okay. Comfort Crisis. Comfort Crisis. Michael Easter. Easter. Outlive. Well, and the other thing was, too, is I thought that I would be able to get it done by Spooptober, because then I would potentially read something spoopy. Because usually I would read a chapter a day. No, luckily there are sections within the chapters, and all I can read is a section, and there are at least 3 sections per chapter. One section that I can get through. Yeah. Again, I love it. I love it. It's just not what I was expecting at the time. But it does. It gets me back to my analytical roots, but also makes me realize how out of those roots that I am. CJ Box, you also said? CJ Box. Excellent. Thank you. I do. I need literature in my life. I do. I still need to read Ball Lightning, the thing that kind of goes with the 3-body problem series. Okay. Does the thing. Oops. 3-body problem series, another very interesting series. I quite enjoyed, and I think about it a lot. Oh, I guess I could have, like, walked through that. Well, we turn off all of our electronics and then all of our lights, and then our throttles out, we bring our mixture out, and then we magnetos out, and boom. And it didn't count it. Oh well. All right, so then we chock. Oops. Boom. All right. Debating on a book to take on vacation with you. Maybe some James Patterson. I have heard good things about James Patterson's books. He's the Jack Ryan one. That seems like some fun stuff. Yeah, there we go. And then we do the thing, and then we do the thing, and then we do our. Are you going on vacation soon? I hope you have a wonderful vacation. There, did the things. Yay! Ugh. If you like a murder mystery, oh, hang on. James Patterson is a must. I do like twisty stuff. We'll get some pretty music going. So yes, I do. I like twisty stuff. The one thing is I tried reading it last Halloween and I got about like halfway through it. And on one hand, the detail he puts into it is impressive and interesting to a point. But at some point, it just kind of felt like too much and unnecessary. Personal thought. So I didn't actually end up finishing that. I thought about wrong one. I thought about like finishing that this Spooptober, but then again, I don't even have like a desire to. Unfortunately, I hate starting a book and not finishing it, but well. But the other thing is I'll get to that actually. 9 days. Yes, that'll be fun. I hope it is excellent. I hope it is most excellent. Okay, if you're going to Amazon Prime it, you have 7 days to order. Okay, all right, sounds good. Well, yes, make sure you get that done. You don't want to be left without a book. Ugh, that would be the worst. My instructor actually suggested a book. It is not a fiction book. It is, I think it's called Extreme Ownership, like how the Navy SEALs lead, sort of a thing. So I got that I'll have to read at some point. I don't know when. It's gonna be a while, but yeah, I do. I miss reading, so I will keep those in mind. And I will go over some other stuff, some stream stuff, after we go over our little nav map here. So we took off here, took off 3-6, and then we went this away. We just kept going this away, and then we realized we could go this away. And we did our slow flight. We did our... Oh, you know what we did? We did our clearing turn, and then we did our clearing turn, and then we ended up going back that way anyway. Then we did our slow flight. Then we did our steep turns. There's our steep turns. And then we started going that way because we were getting way too far away, and we did our stalls at some point along in here. We did power off stall, power on stall, accelerated stall, cross controlled stall, secondary stall, and attempted elevator trim stall. And then we made our way, started going back to find the river, and then we followed the river, and I babbled about things. Thank you for letting me babble about things. And then we came back, and yeah. And then we got into the pattern and we landed. Yay! Perfect. Yeah, there it is. Airplanes for Dummies. There we go. Perfect one. I mean, you'd be surprised how some things could be extremely helpful in like the things that you miss as you like actually get through stuff. It's not, Stick and Rudder at some point I want to read. I would like to read it myself first, but then at some point I might want to read it on stream. That could be potentially fun. But yeah, I don't know. There are, like, so for Spooktober, I guess I gotta go over. We're gonna go raid somebody. Oh god, I'm so sorry. It's later than it should be. Nothing surprises you. Okay, fair. So, that was yeah, that was, we went over flight controls earlier. We did our ground lesson, and then we worked on some of our flight stuff again. I have not gone over that stuff with my instructor like fully in the flight yet. So particularly no learning anything. There's no learning to be done here. I am not a CFI yet. I am just practicing, and you all are enjoying the struggle. So that was that. That'll hopefully we'll go over next week. And then, so when it comes to the stream, again, it is Thursday. We usually fly on Tuesdays. I was not able to this week. So next week, I want to, on Sunday, since it's Spooktober, I want to start playing games on Sundays, some spoopy games on Sundays. So we're going to try that this weekend, and then we'll fly again on Tuesday. I was going to also read Frankenstein this month, but I don't think that I'm going to have time for all of that. Plus, that I don't know how actually spoopy Frankenstein, like the actual original Frankenstein, is going to be. I feel like it might be a little bit more, again, potentially more academic than proper spoopy. So unfortunately we're gonna not do the spoopy reading this month. I feel so horrible, but I do. I want to do the games because I need one thing that's just like not thinking really. So Sunday we'll do some spoopy games. Tuesday we'll be back with flying, and we'll kind of do that for the month. Other than that, I think that's about it for that. If again I have to adjust things, Discord, I will announce in Discord if things are different. Otherwise, you can just hang out, have a good time. Yeah, we'll find somebody to raid. Let me know if you have anybody in mind. Otherwise, we will see who is out there at this time. There usually isn't. At least not usually too many. We like to get some fresh faces. We like to do some GA. But we will. We'll see what we got. Sticky rice? Okay. I will find. Is it just like that? Can I type it in just like that and it'll work? Perfect. All right. Excellent. Wonderful. That makes it a lot easier. Thank you. So you guys have fun in the raid. I gotta go to bed. To whoever got lost and found their way here or found their way back, thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. Have a great whatever it's gonna be for you. Hope to see you again soon. And until next time, all the good things. yeah, have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. And yeah, again, all the good things. So thank you. Happy you were here, and yeah, it was fun. As always. So I really appreciate it. And if I've forgotten anything, brain is mush. So I apologize. But yeah, I think that's it. So thank you again so much. Have a great time in the raid. See you next time. So thank you and bye.